Okay, I'm here with Andrew today, and he's got something to share with me.
Yeah, I wanted to just show you my new rides, Jimmy. Come check them out.
Oh, this is pretty sweet. We are in Black Mountain Motorworks. We're surrounded by amazing vehicles. We've got a Porsche here, Ferrari, Mercedes. I mean, what do you want to show me? What are you driving? What's your new ride?
I'm going to show you my new rides right here. Here they are.
When choosing a car, it's tough, but you can't go wrong if you go with a name brand, something that's tried and true and established. Electric scooters, it's the same way. It's really tough. There's just a sea of electric scooters to choose from. And to be honest, I've tried a lot of electric scooters and some of them aren't that good. Today, I have Andrew here to help us out. We're going to be going over the Zero lineup, the Zero electric scooter lineup. Andrew's gonna help us decide which electric scooter is best for me, which electric scooter is best for Andrew, and which electric scooter is best for you. So Andrew, tell us what we have here.
The Zero line is probably the most internationally acclaimed scooter line. What happens with the Zero line is it's super popular. It's sold across internationally. And I'd say by far is one of the highest sold scooters in the world.
In one sentence, explain to me what each of these scooters are for, starting with the Zero 8.
Okay, perfect. So the Zero 8 I'd say is a budget-friendly entry-level scooter. The Zero 9 is going to be an economical choice with mid-range capacity. The 10 is going to be a mid-level entry scooter with good power over 30 miles per hour. The Zero 8X is going to be the most maintenance-free scooter that you can buy because there's no solid tires on it. The Zero 10X is going to be a great all-around scooter to fulfill most people's speed needs by going up to 50 miles per hour. And then the Zero 11X is probably a scooter that most people shouldn't own and also needs to be respected because of how much power this thing can drive. And just so to clarify, the whole Zero line has suspension, but the Zero 8, Zero 9, and Zero 10 have just a traditional spring suspension. Anything with the X has a swing arm suspension. All of the X versions have a volt reader, and anything with an X also has a key. So it's a lot more comfortable, a lot more travel, and I find them to be superior to the X line, but this might not be the best choice for yourself.
The X line is good for the heavy rider. The non-X line probably not so good for the heavy riders.
All the non-X lines are going to be a single motor scooter specifically, and anything with an X is also going to be a dual motor scooter. Anything without an X on it has an adjustable stem on it, and they all go up to 39 inches. So it goes to be about 25 inches versus 39 inches on all of the scooters.
So if I were to summarize this, if it has no X, it's more portable because you can fold the handlebars, you can bring down the stem, you could lock the stem and fold it up and carry it around easier. And it also has a different type of suspension if it has no X. It has the traditional spring suspension as opposed to the X line, which does have the swing arm suspension.
Yeah, it's a swing arm spring suspension.
Swing arm spring suspension. Comes in dual motors when it has the X, and it's not as portable because the X means you're gonna have a lot more power, and when you have more power, you sacrifice portability.
Exactly. Man, you took good notes, Jimmy. Questions you need to ask yourself, like how far are you trying to travel? Are you gonna be lugging this on a bus or on a train? Are you going to be going multiple miles? Do you care to do tire changes? A lot of different factors go into it, and so I wanted to help you choose the best scooter for yourself. I like to go fast, I like to ride hard. So for me, I'll just kind of start out with what I would choose myself. I would actually choose the 11X for myself, only because I like the speed in it. It can go up to 60 miles per hour. It's an awesome scooter. Jimmy will never ride this scooter going 60 miles per hour, so it's not a good choice for himself.
I just want to interrupt Andrew really quick. He said that I wouldn't ride this 60 miles an hour. He is right. And in fact, I've already been injured on the 11X. It's a beast, all right? And so I wasn't even riding it. I fell just taking it out of my car. So yes, it can be dangerous. So make sure if you're gonna ride, wear your safety gear. And even if you're gonna take it out of your car, maybe you should be wearing safety gear.
Yeah, exactly. This is a scooter you do not want to use for portability reasons. If you're going to be hopping on a train, hopping on a bus, this thing weighs 130 pounds, does not fold into itself, so...
When you say it doesn't fold into itself, what do you mean? It does fold, but...
Yeah, it does fold, but it doesn't lock into itself. When you're trying to lift this out of a car, you typically need at least 2 people to lift it in and out of a car. It's got 2 choices of tires that you can buy it in. It can buy it in street tires, you can buy it in road tires. With the street tire, it's super quiet. With road tires, you hear the road tires on the ground and it's pretty loud. This one actually is a dual 1600 watt motors. This is one of the biggest motors that are actually on a scooter. I think there's only a few that are bigger than this, and that's gonna be like the WePed or the Ryan. And I wanted to touch base on this that I love. This is only on the 11X as a used nut hydraulic braking. I think the nut hydraulic braking is superior to Zoom hydraulic brakes. But the reason why I love this as well is it has dual stems on it. I think the dual stems makes it super secure. And easy enough to remember this thing for the size of tire is a 011X has an 11-inch tire, where the 010X has a 10-inch tire. Which is a great segue into the 10X. This is a great option. I'd say this will fulfill a lot of people's needs. The only thing that I wish that this thing came in was a dual stem, but it is still secure. It's not gonna fold on you as long as you make sure you check on it. A single stem on the 10X is great, but the 10X can get a little creaky. There's companies that sell dampeners for the stem, and there's also a thing that you can purchase from REVrides to secure the stem as well. When you're riding, this thing will start to slide up. So you definitely want to just make sure you bring this thing down and tighten this every once in a while, because if this thing does come up, it can cause this stem to collapse on you. 10X comes in 2 options. It comes in a dual 1200 watt motor and a dual 1000 watt motor option. Also smaller batteries, 60 volt battery versus I think a 52 volt battery. This does have hydraulic braking, but it is going to be the Zoom braking. It's still a great hydraulic brake, but I do prefer the nut hydraulic braking. This thing is going to be a lot more mobile than the 011X. So the weight of the 10X on all 3 of the models is going to be 80 pounds. So it's not too bad, a lot easier to lift up than 130 pounds. Some people might actually consider this as a commuter scooter as well. The only problem though is this doesn't fold into itself as well, so it doesn't lock into itself. So it is a little bit harder to lift up if you're a smaller person. One thing that I've used before in the past to kind of keep these things together is I'll use a bungee tie when lifting it into a car, so if I want to lift it by myself, because if I ask my wife to help me out, she kind of gets upset and she's like, my back, it hurts, and it's really hard to convince her to help me lifting these heavy scooters sometimes. The platform is nice and big on this one. This does come in 2 different options. You can buy it in road tires and street tires, and you can actually install different tires on these too. Sometimes you can actually install wider tires than is specified on here.
And speaking of wide tires, let's talk about this scooter.
The 08X. This is kind of the all-around machine that's awesome. This is the smaller brother to the 10X, but it includes some of the cool features from the 8 that a lot of people love. I'd say this is by far one of the best scooters for maintenance free, if you're trying to go with a maintenance free scooter. And the reason why is because it's got solid wide tires. You really shouldn't have any tires issues on this one because they're solid tires. You never have to fill them with air, and they should never go bad on you if you happen to run over a nail. It's not going to be as soft on pavement. It is going to be a little bit more rough of a ride, but you have great suspension to compensate for that, so you really don't feel it too much. It's got disc brakes, but they're not disc hydraulic brakes, because hydraulic disc brakes are great, but if you ever have to maintain them, you have to add hydraulic fluid to it. Where this one is just brake pads, you can just switch out the brake pads and you're good to go. The handlebars will actually fold in the handlebars. So it just makes it for a little smaller footprint if you're driving like a smaller car that doesn't have as big of a trunk. It makes it very nice when folding. And it also has a volt reader too. The one thing about this though, it's not super light. It's 72 pounds, so it's still pretty heavy. This thing actually has great range and also great speed. It goes up to about 35 miles per hour. You really don't get a maintenance-free scooter that has that type of range and that type of speed. So overall, I think this is one of the best choices for a lot of people. One thing I found on a forum the other day is they were trying to decide between a 9 or something that had a solid rear tire because they were worried about it. And I told them, how about you think about the 8X, because you won't ever have to worry about any type of tire change because they're both front and rear solid.
I want to take a brief moment here to mention that Andrew mentions these forums. You've probably seen Andrew on these forums. He's very active, he's very helpful answering questions, and so he is my scooter go-to guy, and so he is very knowledgeable when it comes to scooters, so much so that he and I have even partnered up and we've started a website called GOTSCOOTER.com, GOT-scooter.com, and so check it out. We'll be blogging there.
Let's kind of start out with this one. Since we went from the highest first and kind of went down, let's start from the lowest end of the non-X lines and kind of work our way up. This is the ultimate just entry level scooter for commuters. I think this is a great lightweight choice. And so it's easy for lifting. And this is, I believe, 40 pounds, right around that range, so not too heavy. The 8 specifically, this is the only one of this line that has a solid rear tire. Motor in the back, so it's a single motor, and has an air-filled front tire. And a lot of reasons why companies do this is this isn't the only scooter that does this. They think the rear tire is the most likely one to go bad, so that's why they make it solid. And they make the front tire filled with air, so it's a little bit of a softer ride. Great entry-level scooter if you're not looking to spend a ton of money on a scooter, and this will get you from point A to point B. This is the only scooter in the Zero line that has a single brake, where all of them have dual brakes on them. Moving to the 09, what they basically have done is they've upgraded the 08 a little bit. They've made the deck a little bit bigger for you. They've added dual brakes on there. The top speed on this scooter only goes up to about 22 miles per hour, but it has about a 20 to 25 mile range as well. The other nice thing about the 9 and the 10 specifically, it has this front LED bar. It doesn't project a lot of light, but it's good for visibility at night. Speaking about the 10, you get a little bit bigger tire. This is a 9.5-inch tire, where this is a 9-inch tire. A bigger deck, as you can see, it's a lot wider deck. Dual disc brakes on this one. I think this is a great choice for a lot of people because what this does is it gives you good range, good power, and also gives you the portability option. So if you're looking for a portable scooter that's not too heavy, has a wide deck, I think this is by far one of the best choices for a lot of people. This goes about 30 to 35 miles per hour and gives you about a 30 to 35 mile per hour range as well. This one does weigh 50 pounds. And both these ones weigh 40 pounds specifically. So that's why I do think that this is one of the best ultimate commuter scooters. Not too heavy, folds in, locks into each other, and also the handlebars fold into each other as well.
Pretend I'm Goldilocks from Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and I'm trying to figure out which porridge is best for me, or which bed is best for me, or which chair is best for me. Some scooters, they're just gonna go too fast. Some scooters are gonna go too slow for you. Which scooter is just right? Not too fast, not too slow, but just right.
The reason why I choose the 8X for Jimmy is specifically, he doesn't want to maintain scooters. For him, he doesn't want to do a tire change. He doesn't want to have to deal with that stuff. So if you're one of these people, which I find is probably the biggest impact on your decision of buying a scooter, is your ability to maintain these scooters, I think this is the best one. This one, you'll never have to deal with hydraulic braking fluid. You'll never have to do a tire change. And it's pretty portable.
If I were to get another scooter, it's gonna be the 08X.
The 11X is great for me in certain situations. It would be hard for me to choose between the 10X and the 11X. I don't always need the power of the 11X, but the 11X is super great if I want to go far distances, if I want to try to go for a high speed. But if I was actually just going out for a nice ride on a little small mountain biking trail, I would prefer the 10X over the 11X. If I was going on a super heavy duty mountain biking trail where I needed as much power as I could to go up and it's very, very steep, I'd probably choose 11X. The best scooter for most people is going to be between the 010 or the 08X. 010 is going to be something that is actually in a lot of people's price range. Doesn't go too crazy, it goes 35 miles per hour and also goes up to 35 miles range. So I think this is by far one of the best scooters for people because of price, range, and top speed.
Again, if you want to learn more about these scooters, you can check out our blog that we're running together, GOTSCOOTER.com. The other thing too I want to say is I want to thank REVrides for providing these scooters so that we can make this video. An amazing distributor. They really take pride in their work. I've received a lot of scooters in my days, and you know, sometimes they come to me pretty beaten up, screws loose, parts missing, but with this, I was very impressed with the way these scooters were packaged, the way that they came with a quality control checklist, and they stand behind their work. If you have any problems, just reach out to the folks at REVrides. They'll take care of you.
And one other shout out I want to give was to Black Mountain Motor Works. Great location in Denver if you're going to be parking a high quality vehicle, as you can see around us. Ultimately, great place for us to film when it's snowing outside.
All right, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember, when you ride, wear your safety gear.